number one consumer complaint in the United States, in the world, for the last 15 years. Now notice I didn't say the United States, I said the world, for the last 15 years and growing. Matter of fact, a few years ago, there were no laws against identity theft. People could do it and get away with it and brag about it. And they could brag about, I got you, I got you. But what we care about is our personal space, our personal, our identity. Let me ask you a question. Who has a car? Everybody? Right. On your car, do you have an alarm? You got one of those little beep beep things? Right. You push it all the time when you get out, right? You push it all the time. So you secure your, or you think you secure your car when you get out. Right? Anybody got a house? Home? Living home? When you leave home, do you lock your door? You make sure it's secure? You got the little sign sticking outside, say protected by ADT or a bulldog or something like that? You got that, right? So you secure that area. But let me ask you this question. How do you secure yourself? What do you do to secure you? I think you're more valuable than your car because you can replace the car, right? If something happens to your car, tire blows or engine go out, you have the opportunity to replace that easily by going to a mechanic, right? Somebody break in your house, you have valuables that you can go back and replace or call the insurance company and make sure you get what you need back. Am I right? Am I right? Right? Yeah. Okay, participate with me, please. Am I right? Am I right?
You're right.
All right, thank you. So,
amen.
Amen. Talk to me, brother. Talk to me, brother. And so what do you do when there's a breach in your personal identity? First of all, if I ask the question, I'm going to ask two people. When I say the word identity theft, right? There's some things that preconceived in your mind right now. You have them. Because we know we talk about identity theft, but you already ran through some things in your mind already about identity theft. You have, right? Just like if I tell you not to think, like I said, if I tell you not to think about the white elephant, what do? You think about the white elephant, right? You do it. It's because the mind cannot think about mind only thinks about the positive. It doesn't think. If I get the negative part when I say don't think about it, you forget about the don't, then think about the positive. So when I say identity theft, what do you think of, Mike? Just one word. Or two words, how about that?
Insecurity, for one thing.
Okay, what do you think about?
Social Security.
Social Security?
Credit card.
Credit card?
Yeah.
Credit card?
Social Security.
Empty bank account.
Empty your bank account?
Loss of privacy.
Privacy? I like that one better. What do you think about, Susan?
John Dunham.
John Dunham, great. So that's a good thing. And most people, that's what she should think about. And most people, when you mention identity theft, two things have come to their mind. The folks will say something like, you can have my credit because it's bad, right? Or they'll say, you know what, someone took my money the other day and I had to get it back. Most people go straight to the finances. I wonder why that is. Why do people go straight to finances when it comes to thinking about identity theft? I wonder why. I don't have a clue. But I know identity theft encompasses a lot more than money.
Only 13. But isn't that the most common?
That's what you hear about.
That's what
you tend
I'm
to hear
so.
about, yeah.
Say that again. No.
That's what you hear about.
That's what you hear about. It is not the most
It's
common.
not the most common.
No.
Medical is.
Identity theft, financial identity theft is only 13%, according to the Federal Trade Commission, of identity theft. Only 13. So there's 87% of stuff going on under the cover that you don't even think about. And why is that? Because everybody watch TV. Everyone watch TV. And on TV, they talk about money. That's the only identity theft that's brought up on television, is the money identity theft. So turn your paper over. I got a few more identity thefts I want to just mention real quick, hot and heavy. Just the first play. What's the first we talked about? Financial identity theft, right? And again, it's only 13% of identity theft. If you go check the Federal Trade Commission website, it'll clearly state 13%. Before, let me tell you what, there's a ranking. There's a Federal Trade Commission or the Sentinel report is published every year. And every year, I moved here in 2000. I'm the reason why Alabama's improved, trust me. Because, Alabama started out, when I got here, Alabama was 5th. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, Alabama was 5th on the lake in the nation for identity theft. Florida was number 1, right? Now, Alabama now today ranks 22. So they're getting better. We're getting better because we're getting a little smarter about how this crime affects everyone. But when we talk about identity theft, financial identity theft is number 1, right? Wow. Why? And because it's the thing on TV. It's the thing that most people talk about. But again, if you check the websites and you get with the Federal Trade Commission, it's only 13%. The rest of it has to go somewhere else, right? It has to go somewhere else that we don't think about. And the next one, I don't have a few minutes. The next one,
You're good.
The next one, well, so enough with financial identity theft. But let me tell you what, on the front of the bank, most banks, you'll see that little sticker that says FDIC insured. Does anyone know what that means? And I'm pretty sure everyone knows what it means. That means if you lose the amount of money that's listed there, the bank is responsible for giving it back to you, right?
Correct.
Now, I don't have the $28.16 in the bank, so when it says $250,000 FDIC insured, I'm good. Because nobody's getting that much money from me anyway, right? So I don't worry about the financial identity theft because it's coming back. Let me give you another thing. What happened to me, I don't know if it's on the sheet, it should be, but if it's not, let me tell you what happened to me in 2007. Someone filed a tax return in my name in the amount of $10,000, $9,887.05, and the IRS swore up and down it was me. Because the guy's name was John Dunham, and he lived in El Paso, Texas, at 10724 Sugarland Drive, and he had a social security number of such and such, but the guy was single. But I ain't never filed single. Last time I filed single, I was 24 years old, right? This guy filed single. And I asked the lady at the IRS when I was calling, trying to find out where my return was, she go, sir, all we do is process paper. She told me that. She told me all they did was process paper. I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry because I didn't have anything, at this time, I didn't think identity theft or identity theft protection was something that's going to bother me. I'm a soldier, man. Who's going to bother a soldier, right? Who's going to bother a guy from the Navy, a tough guy from the Navy? Nobody's going to do that, right? Wrong. They hooked me up. Not only once, they did me twice. Just like that, back to back, right? Not, in the same in the same month. But I got this bill in the mail saying, iPower cash card. Here's an iPower cash card with withdrawals, $503 a day for 5 days, equaling $10,000. Well, more than 3 days, but 3 times a day, right? They got, and I'm like, well, somebody should stop that. Nobody did. Nobody, I had to send in fingerprints. Isn't that incredible? It wasn't me. I had to send in fingerprints to the FBI. I had to do handwriting samples. I had to send in address, water bill, utility bill. To say it wasn't me, to figure out what me. It took them without any help, because I didn't have it. I didn't think it was necessary to have identity theft protection. And it took them a year and a half. They assigned me a taxpayer advocate. I lived in Texas, they lived in Washington State. So they assigned me a taxpayer advocate, and that taxpayer advocate took a year and a half. And I could ever get a hold of her to get my record straight. Now, do you believe that's true? So I locked my house that morning too, and I locked my car. But I had no time that I put something on myself to make sure I was protected. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So the other one is driver's license identity. Let me give you an example of this. Do you believe, Lou, now they wouldn't believe this. They would never believe I'm Lou Gallipo, right? Because the picture on there wouldn't match. Right? But what if the picture they have on you, somebody stole your driver's license, and what if he had? Or what if he had? Right? Is it a little more match there? You think somebody would buy off on that's you? Now, if you read what they talk about identity theft on the driver's license portion, you think, well, it's not a big deal. But what if someone, and I know people I can refer you to personally, if somebody knows, they can call their name out, but I'm not going to call their name, that someone stole their driver's license information, got 4 moving traffic violations in the state of Mississippi, right? You know what the state of Mississippi did? Put out a bench warrant for that person, right? Now, you don't think it can happen. Now, I know everybody's saying, because there's only 2 times you're going to think about this identity of that thing, and it's now and when something happens. That's the only 2 times you're going to think about it. I guarantee you don't think about it on a daily basis. Am I right? Am I right? You don't think about it. So this lady didn't think about it either, right? But guess what happened to her? She got pulled over by Huntsville Finance. And luckily she got pulled over by someone that knew her. Because her lights, one of her tail lights were out. Couldn't find out she had 4 warrants for her arrest in the state of Mississippi, and Alabama had revoked her license. Is that scary? Do you believe that can happen to you? It can happen to me too.
No, because I have legal shit.
No, not you. No. Let me say something. Let me back up. It can happen to anybody. That's my point. It can happen to anybody. But my point is, how do you get help? That's all I'm talking about. I'm not going to use you.
I'm not
I'm going to use Brandon. So that's the deal. That can happen. And I guarantee if you go check the records, there's a lot of people that's getting hurt by simply that task. And you own your own business, Mike. Guess what? Would it ruin you if that happened? Would it ruin your business if that happened? If they put a warrant out for your arrest? Just think about it. Don't answer. Would it ruin you? Is it possible that it can happen? Right? Just think about that. Because I can tell you, I know it can. Then they got the one called criminal identity theft.
Excuse me, John, is there a % on driver's license identity theft?
I don't have any on the top of my head. I just know the other 87% goes to the rest of them. But I will get you the number.
Identity theft the largest of all of these different varieties?
No.
It's not?
No.
Okay.
No. Absolutely not. The largest one is medical. Okay,
Okay.
but I'll get back to that. If you need the percentage, I'll get back to you and
I
give
was
you the
just
number.
curious.
No, the largest one is medical, and I don't know why, but it is. But anyway, the criminal identity theft. You know when that crime happens, and then you see it all the time. The cops say you get pulled over, they run your name, and you say you committed such and such a crime because we're going to arrest you. You say it wasn't me. How many crooks say that?
99%.
99% I'm saying it wasn't me. But what do you do when that happens, man? You know, I'm going to mention a name. No, I'm not going to mention a name. I'm going to mention an agent. There's an insurance agent. You guys probably know him if you hang around Athens anywhere. I'll even mention his branch, Alpha. He got arrested for someone doing an indecent exposure act. He got arrested, man. I'll take it to his office. He got arrested. I'm not laughing at the guy. I'm really not. But just imagine what that did to his business for a while. If you go to him, he'll show you the letter that the FBI provided him. So when he get pulled over now, he got a stain. He has a letter that says he's not a child offender, what's it called? Sex offender, right? But if you go to somebody searching him, they may just find some stuff that's not cleaned up on his record yet, and it say he's a sex offender. Wow. Just imagine. I'm just throwing some stuff out. Nothing is scary. I just want to put out facts. These things happen. So that crime and criminal could be you. What if you're a teacher in Florida and you get your purse stolen, right? And it's got stolen and your identity got stolen to a prostitute. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I used the wrong word. A lady of the night. Right? What if it got sold to a lady of the night? And she got arrested.
Why are
And
you
she,
looking at Lou?
because I remember him in that
It's a
tutu.
tutu thing.
I remember that tutu thing.
I'll never shake that one off.
And so he gave that teacher's identity sold that teacher's identity, because you know that's what people do once they steal your identity, they sell it. So you sold the teacher's identity, ID card. Now you get arrested